So in the last example, we accepted user input and we're able to store it as a variable. Now, in this example, this is the variable, and then we're accepting user input. So if I run this and it says, what is your name? I type in Mr. Danza. My name is stored as Mr. Danza. But let's say I'm dealing with something other than a string of characters. Let's say I'm dealing with numbers. And we're soon going to be creating a basic calculator. So I want to be able to accept numbers. Well, computers only do what you tell them to do. And they are very dull, and you have to be able to be specific. So I have to tell the computer, let's say I want to accept a number. I have to tell the computer that I want whatever the user types in to be a number and for it to expect and convert it to a number. So maybe I just create a new variable. I'll replace name and I'll just say num for number. It could be any variable that you want, but instead of typing in enter or what is your name, I'll say enter a number. Okay, and I'll prompt it to do that. Now, if I just run it as is, it saves it. And if I just type in 5, it saves it. That's great. But it saves it as something called a string. And a string is just a collection of characters that if I'm looking to perform some sort of mathematical operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, no matter what it is, I'm not able to perform that operation because the computer thinks that even though you typed in a 7 here, the computer sees it as a character and not actually a number or an integer. So what I need to do is I need to take whatever the user types in and I want to actually convert it to an integer, a number. So I'll go ahead and before window type in parse, which means I'm going to turn this into an integer, and then open and close parentheses around that. So notice that whatever the user entered is inside of this parse. Well, I spelled parse wrong. There you go. All this is inside parseInt. Okay, so it prompts the user to enter a number. And then once it's actually collected, once that number is collected, it then converts it into an integer. And then after it's done all of that, it then stores it in a variable called num. And you can name that variable whatever you want. It could be named n, it could be num1, num2, whatever collection of characters combined together that you want in order to name this. But I just was being simple and named it num. Okay, so that's how you would actually use the parseInt function and be able to take whatever the user enters in and be able to convert it into an integer.